the town of Outfield rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business.
How's it hanging, dudes? My name is Sean and welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 video. And man, there has been a gigantanormous amount of news with Red Dead Redemption just flying out everywhere. So, I mean, so much where I just decided to okay, I'm just not going to, rush and upload. I want to kind of fill everybody out, see what everybody has to say. But the thing is, there's people who has played the game. That's right, guys. That is freaking right. So we're going to be using some of their knowledge of what's actually in the game, because yeah, the game has been played and people are insane about it. Like, they are crazy about it. Unfortunately, they haven't really released any real gameplay just yet, except for what trailers and snippets we already have seen and stuff like that. But they have pieced together, some nice commentary of what they have played, and there's something very key that I want to focus on here, and it's the fact of immersion plus items equals insanity. Like, that's all I got to say. But anyways, IGN did a pretty good job of summing up the, I guess, basic shopping and stuff like that that we knew was going to be in the game, but blew our minds when we got to see, or got explained to us, what level of detail is actually in that. Now, of course, they talk about a lot of stuff. I will put the link in the description. I 100% recommend you guys go watch the entire hour for yourself of what they did. They have the best synopsis of it, in my opinion. There's so much there, so much to unpack. But there's just one thing that I want to focus on with this video, so go ahead and roll the clip. And I'll see you guys on the other side.
We got to a town in Red Dead 2, and we went into a general store, and despite one of the biggest games ever made waiting for us outside, we didn't want to leave this store.
This was the two of us playing along with IGN's John Ryan, McCaffrey, and Tina Amini. We were all sitting in this room together, and we were all just fixated on what was going on in this general store. And again, this is a screenshot from the very first Red Dead trailer we saw.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Rockstar didn't want people to pay attention to the general store, they wouldn't have put that in the initial reveal. You can tell just by looking at this the amount of things in this one frame. It's incredibly dense. Those are 4 characters you can talk to. There's like a dog there you can interact with. This game is, I think we're used to open world games being an emphasis on scale and on size and how big is it, how long will it take you to traverse it, how far can you go, how fast can you go, can you climb that thing. Red Dead is sort of folds in on itself, and it's very much a game about intimacy and density.
Yes.
And it's, it acknowledges the fact that you're not getting in a Lamborghini and hauling ass across the map. You are either on foot or on horse. And because of that, it's like all of the sort of smaller moments, it just feels kind of, everything's closer together.
Right.
So we went to this general store, and it does what you'd expect a general store to do in a video game. It's where you go to, get supplies and upgrade, not upgrade your stuff, but get new gear. And it operates in the same way that if you looked at sort of, I feel like if you look at the stores in Red Dead Redemption, the original, you'd go in and looking at guns, and the guy would take them off the shelf, and there'd still be a menu there to remind you that you were playing a video game. And this time around, they've done a lot to sort of really break all of the systems that kind of ruin the immersion.
Yes, I totally agree. So,
and they started to play with this in GTA 5, where if you walk into a store, you go to different clothing racks to sort of select different things, and this feels almost like the logical progression of that.
Yeah, and so the cool things about this is that when you browse in a store like this, you have the options of looking at the shelves, which feel weathered and ornate and sort of like actual, really just sort of built in. There's tangible goods all over them. You can look at them, you can analyze them. Everything sort of feels like it's been sort of chipped apart. And there's items on the shelves that you can buy, and then we walked up to the counter, and there was a plate of cheese, and you can pick up a piece of cheese and eat it.
Let's get to that in a second. So obviously, if you go to the store, they can't have like every single thing there represented on the shelves, because that would be, I don't know, overwhelming, or else just it would look kind of corny. So they fight it in an interesting way. So if you're getting sort of stuff that would be sort of too long to look through it in every possible way, they do a very canonical explanation. They have a Sears and Roebuck catalog, or whatever it's called, and it is authentic in the way that you would expect a Rockstar game to be. These are actual pages from an old catalog. I'm doing sort of an artist mock-up here because we don't have gameplay or screenshots to show you. But basically, Arthur walks over to the counter and there's this catalog there, and you see him open it up. And this is in place of a menu you have to navigate that reminds you you're in a video game. Your character is in first person, which, yes, the whole game can be played in first person. That's a thing. He goes into first person, and you see his nasty old hands with dirt under his fingernails, and he starts flipping through, and that's how you browse for guns or hats or equipment or
spurs or anything. And the cool thing about this too is that even outside of the little paragraphs that describe certain items, there's full page ads that feel very, historic of the time. There's also like little notes at the beginning and stuff like that. The catalog begins with a paragraph that says something along the lines of like, undoubtedly this might end up in the wrong hands, or blah 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 blah.
It's got sort of a historical, like tongue-in-cheek kind of sense of humor to it.
And again, like everything else in this game, it feels authentic, it feels real, it feels lived in. It doesn't feel sort of cartoonishly over the top, which I think a lot of GTA veers into. It feels like a real place with real things that you can pick up and hold and touch.
Yeah, and you mentioned the plate of cheese. That was the other thing. We walked to the other end of the counter, and you chuckleheads are all like, is this like Trader Joe's? Can we go and just have the cheese for free? And Arthur goes over with his dirty old hands and starts, looking at the cheese some more. And it's like incredibly detailed, like 4K HDR video game cheese.
Yep.
And at this point, our the kind of Rockstar rep was like, we appreciate you guys having attention to this detail, but we should probably stop looking at cheese and hats. We should probably go explore this world. But that really just does explain, that sets the tone for what this game is like. This is a game where you're going to be having these endless, like, minuscule interactions with little details and things, and they really, I mean, it's been said repeatedly ad nauseum. They are building a living, breathing world.
Okay, so now there are many different little towns in Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's like a nice little break from the huge, long, elongated fields and mountains and canyons and stuff like that. All the different biomes and stuff that you would be traversing over a normal day-to-day thing. Of course, and there's always interacting items everywhere, or little bitty campsites, stuff like that. But you get to a town, and like these guys said, we got to a town and we went into a general store just to get some supplies, and we didn't want to leave the general store. It has that much detail. Now, of course, it could just be a general store that Rockstar knew they were going to come across first, because it's, gameplay. Anybody who's going to get access to play the game, they're going to be, playing only so much and only get to see so much, right? But they didn't want to leave that general store because you can walk along the shelves, pick up items, and that's how you buy them. Now, of course, there's so many different items you can go through. There's a catalog, like a Sears catalog, you can flip through, which makes 100% sense. Like, it's definitely a step up from GTA, where in GTA, like, you can go to clothing racks and then select from the clothing that's on the rack. But here you actually get to pick up items. You actually get to pick them up, look at them, analyze them, examine them, put them back. Everybody is they seem more natural. There's a dog you can interact with. There's people who's leaning on posts and whatnot. And it goes on and on and on about just the level of detail, just the soot and the straw and just different dirt and debris that's laying everywhere. Like, Rockstar went all out with this game. Like, it is mind-boggling just how much stuff that they have cram-packed into this huge world. This map could actually, I mean, it is one of the largest maps that's not a procedurally generated map. One of the largest maps ever created for a console game, if not the largest map ever created for a console game. And that means that with all this immersion inside of the map itself, you could literally spend hours in, like, St. Denis, for example. That's probably going to be about the size of maybe downtown Los Santos and the surrounding areas, but all old Victorian style, 1980s buildings, ranches and little homesteads and stuff like that, intermixed around a nice bustling city. And hopefully that one general store that they got to see, it's like that with every single building. You need to get patched up, you go into a doctor's office. You can pick up the sutures, you can look at those. There's tonics and gins and different elixirs and stuff like that along the wall. Maybe you want to buy that stuff and you want to increase your stamina, increase your Deadeye meter, and those type of potions and stuff like that will help you. well, I say potions loosely, you know, elixirs and stuff like that that you would see in a 1980s doctor's office, right? Or 1890s. Sorry, I keep saying 1980s. In 1890s. So yeah, Industrial Revolution. So imagine if you can just go into the sheriff's office, be able to pick up their handcuffs, or be able to look at just papers laying on the ground, pencils, being able to unlike. What if there's like a, you know, bandits that's inside of a jail cell. You walk into the jail cell, or into the you know, into the sheriff's. What do you? I don't even know what you. I guess it's like a police station, like an old school modern day police station. I don't even know what you. What do you call that? Sheriff station? I don't know. Anyways, you walk into the sheriff station, and let's say the sheriff's not there, or he just went out to go get a drink or something like that, and there's 2 or 3 bandits, or, you know, just criminals sitting there in the cells. Maybe you can pick up the keys and just go unlock them. Or maybe you can shoot the sheriff, get the keys off of him, and then go unlock them. Like, that'd be so cool. Maybe you can recruit people, and just the level of detail to be able to look around, going to a bar and be able to pick up a shot glass, stuff like that. It's, oh man, I'm so excited for this game. Anyways, I hope you guys smack a like. I hope you guys subscribe if you're new. Red Dead Redemption is here to stay. It's definitely killing the channel, but I don't care. I'm going to keep uploading Red Dead Redemption until it either takes off or the game launches and, you know, we got to move on to something different, right? I don't know. I really like it, and I'm never going to play a game that I don't like. I'm only going to play games and hype up games that I think are going to be good. Sometimes they're not good, and you guys know I'm honest about that, and I'm going to tell you about that. In the case of Jurassic World Evolution. Don't forget, Parkasaurus comes out on the 25th. I will be definitely streaming that, playing a little bit of that, and hopefully that game blows up out of nowhere, and that way we can, you know, focus on that. That'd be kind of cool. Either way, Red Dead Redemption here to stay. I'm super excited for this, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you down in the comment section below because I'm there after every single video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
To the town of our field rode a stranger one fine day.